One of my favorite ways to do original research is to do a poll. Now, polls are amazing because you get actual statistics as a result of the polls. The more people that you get to participate in a survey, the more data you have and the more accurate that data is going to be, or rather, the better the sample is going to be. And so it's just a great way to gather good data. When you have good stats on your website, people are more likely to link to that information from their own website. That's really going to help your SEO. But more than that, it's also going to add credibility to the information that you post. It's not just one person's opinion, and it's going to add uniqueness to the post. Other people aren't going to have done the exact same thing. So here's how you do polls. There's 3 levels of polls, and it may seem like you can't really do a poll yet if your site's brand new, right? Well, you can't do the first type of poll, the first sort of level or tier of poll. And that is to actually post a poll on your website. Now, when you do get to a point where you have enough users that they actually will respond to a poll, or you can do this on a YouTube channel as well, by the way, polls are fantastic over there. We really love to do 1-question polls. They're just not hard for people to do. When one question pops out and they just say yes, no, or they click A, B, C, or D, or they enter one line of information, that's really nice. People are often very willing to do that. When you ask for 5 or 6 questions, then it's a little bit different. Or when the little pop-out says, hey, are you willing to take a survey? I don't know. How much of my time am I going to be dedicating to this survey? So consider the 1-question poll. It's a great way to get more feedback, and you're just going to have to give it more time. Change out the question once a week, but over time you'll get the data you want. The second tier of poll is to create your own poll, but to somebody else's audience. And the way to do that is to go to existing social media groups and forums where you can post a question. Now, sometimes you can actually post a poll, but some of those groups are gonna be a little bit leery of that. They're gonna feel like you're maybe just using that information for your blog post. Heaven forbid, right? And so some groups are gonna be a little bit leery, a little bit protective of that. So just post a question. Just ask a question. How often do you see on social media where somebody asks a question and 400 of their closest friends reply to the question with their answer, with their feedback? So go join some Facebook groups in your industry. Go participate in some forums in your industry. Answer other people's questions, yes, but also go ask your own. And then you can take all the responses that you get and codify that information. So what that means is you just take all the results, and then you just tabulate how many people responded with generally that answer, right? So if it's like, hey, I'm looking for, what do you do to get rid of ants in your kitchen? Well, there's ant traps, right? There's, paid pest control. There's, maybe there's 5 or 6 different main ways that most people responded. How many people responded to each one? Fantastic. Now you've got a beautiful pie chart. So that's a great way to get information, even if you don't have your own audience yet. The third type of poll, or the third tier of poll, and this actually works really, really well if you don't have a lot of time. You want to write that article like today or tomorrow, and don't want to wait for people to respond to your question. And that is to go, again, to social media platforms and to forums, and to look at the questions other people have already posted and all the responses to those questions, and just go tabulate that data. You don't even have to ask the question yourself. And then with those results, you're going to be able to get a lot of really good information. What a lot of people neglect to do is, they'll go look in the forums and they'll see what everybody, voted up as the best answer or whatever. But very few people take the time to go through all the answers and see how frequent each answer was. It can be a great way to gather data for your site. And again, you want to make sure that you have stats on your site, because that kind of content is unique. That kind of content gives you authority. It's just a fantastic way to build great content and to succeed when it comes to ranking well in search.